Miltank is a unique card with 110 HP. Rolling Frenzy initially deals 10 damage for 1 energy. Initially, meet Pokemon Pocket's ultimate snowball. As long as Miltank remains in the active slot, every time you click on Rolling Frenzy, you'll deal 30 more damage than the one prior. We've seen Pokemon who function like this in the past. Togekiss Overdrive Smash deals 60 damage on the first hit, 120 in the following. That's it though. After your second attack, there is no further scaling. Miltank is the first card in Pokemon Pocket history that has no ceiling. Once she starts rolling, she don't stop. 10, 40, 70, 100, etc. Only retreat or death will halt her. As menacing as she seems, Miltank is quite counterable. Sabrina is the Pokecow's worst enemy. Forcing Miltank to the bench will immediately undo her Rolling Frenzy, forcing her back to square one. 110 HP is very solid for a non-EX basic, but if you think you're gonna get away with a deck that goes all in on a Miltank sweep, you're in for a rude awakening. Even with a giant cape, Miltank's HP can only cap out at 130, meaning Pokemon like Giratina EX will still be able to one-shot her. I've tried all different kinds of potential combinations with Miltank, and this is the one that works best. Today's deck combines Miltank with Darkrai. We aim to set up a snowball Miltank lead backed up by Darkrai's pings, to then end the match with a Dark Prism sweep. I believe Darkrai to be Miltank's best teammate for simple reasons. Miltank only requires 1 energy to function. Being able to allocate your second energy onwards onto Darkrai provides you with extra damage to support her frenzy. And once Miltank goes down, Darkrai can finish what remains. The issue with this combination is you're placing other Pokemon in the bench, and thus leaving yourself vulnerable to Sabrina to put a stop to your never-ending rolls. I found a cheeky way to counter the counter. A full set of silver allows us to attack the opponent's hand and get rid of Sabrina so that no one gets to deny Miltank's momentum. Genius. Miltank is without a doubt one of the most fun cards this expansion. If you're looking for the best way to play this card, look no further. What Pokemon should up to the ground next? You decide. Leave a comment down below and we'll see what we can do. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We post Pokemon Pocket decks here daily. Have a solid day. Enjoy the games. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here we go. Our milk will bring all the Pokemon to the yard. We got that. We got that Miltank lead that is guaranteed. No, not guaranteed actually. I was testing like a version with. Oh dear God. I was testing a version with fossils to guarantee the lead, but I found Darkrai to be the ideal teammate in the end. We have a full set of lead to correct that opener as we have a Miltank facing a Phanpy. And I'm going to lead off with Silver. See their hand, take away the IO. No, they have a red card, Lucario, and a Pokeball. Okay. Red card, Lucario, Pokeball. So because they have red card, let's drop that Rocky Helmet immediately. And we're going to have to Whitney immediately. But I really like the idea of using Silver as a full set in this deck, essentially because we have a lot of deck space, we can afford it, and it gives us a level of disruption that can deny our opponent Sabrina, for example, to undo our Miltank buildup. That's the theory here. Because it's a super effective hit, though, I am going to be forced to Whitney right off the bat. They keep the Pokemon in there. They don't want to have me Sabrina them, as we're going to have to Whitney right off the bat. And hope that no Donphan comes down, because if it does, it's gonna run right through us. We need a little bit more time. A Pokemon that's dealing 50 damage to us from the get-go is a bit of a problem. Okay, Iono happens. That's potentially good for us, but it could be even better for them. We found the Darkrai, which is perfect, but... There's the Tyrogue, okay. Phanpy dies upon attacking here, though. Lol? Lol, indeed. Rocky Helmet putting in the work here, getting rid of the Phanpy. No Donphan to deal with. And I really like that potion. Is it worth it, though? We gotta drop that Darkrai, and, you know, the ping doesn't really matter here. We don't run Sabrina, so that would have been perfect. Do I go for this potion? Doesn't really make much of a difference, unfortunately, because if they have Lucario, they kill us anyway. So I'm gonna keep the potion in hand, and I'm gonna Rolling Frenzy here. Because of our weakness, potion does not save Miltank from dying to a Lucario attack. But we've already gotten two kills with Miltank against a fighting deck. The power of Whitney basically was an Erica there. They Sabrina us to slow us down. Okay. But this potential Lucario is quite doomed. And they seem to agree. Okay. Well, good debut. You know, that was not a good matchup. I mean, if that was a Dom fan instead, we would have been in quite the trouble. I mean, we would have survived the hit, right? And Don fan would have racked up quite a bit of damage. The combination of Darkrai and the Rocky Helmet and the Rolling Frenzy, I'm pretty sure we would have been able to deal a shitload of damage to it, but I think it would have still been problematic regardless. But not necessarily an automatic loss, though, because at that point, our Darkrai also one-shots Lucario, so I'm just happy I didn't see it. Round two. Round two. And we're going second, which means that we got that Miltank lead. We can unleash it immediately. As we're facing off against Electric, whenever I see Electric, I think Oricorio, which we could potentially run through, but not this. Altaria. I'm surprised it's taken me this long to run into Altaria. This Pokemon was pretty hyped up when you know, the set released as like the new Silvally, but this is the first time that I actually queue into it, and actually reminded me of his existence, and I want to build with it. So there's the Oricorio. They got the full lineup here. I'm gonna go for the Pokeball first, see what we get. And I want some information, so instead of leading off with the Professor's Research, I'm actually gonna lead off with Silver. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they have Repel. They have Repel, which means I do not want to develop this Darkrai. Now I have that information, which is very valuable, so we're gonna leave this Miltank alone in the front. And threaten them with a shoot, because right now I see Repel and Cyrus in hand, and they have two Cyrus as well. And we return one of them with disrupting their draws. So I'm gonna Pokeball into Research. And I'm gonna get the kill on this already. There's a Guzma and another Research, and I'm not gonna develop anything else. It's Miltank all the way. As they bring Oricorio in. And Oricorio dies, and as soon as Oricorio dies, my Darkrai is free to reign, and that's just that's all you need, man. You just need a Miltank. But really good showcase of why I like the idea of playing a full set of Silver with Miltank. Being able to having information on your opponent's hand is inherently more valuable with a Pokemon like this than most of the others, because there are key ways to disrupt this, like Sabrina, and as you guys saw there, Repel, right? So the moment I saw that Repel in their hand, and because it's an item, I can't interact with it, and I saw the rest of the hand as well, I knew that my best approach was to actually just leave Miltank alone on the board. Other matchups, I can't really afford to do that, but I can get information and know that they can't really disrupt with my Miltank's positioning, and then I can focus on building up the Darkrai instead. It's not 100% because they can always draw on something like that, but it really enhances our chances of getting away with it. And that's the idea. Holy yap. Let's go for another one. Round 3, second again, against Lazy Otis. That's their name. We have a Darkrai lead, which is unfortunate. Though we do have the Leaf in hand, there's no Miltank to be seen. And they, wow, I didn't even know that variant existed. That's pretty neat. But they have nothing to... they have nothing to ramp into. Well, we just drew into Miltank. Because I'm just that good. So I'm gonna pivot right into it immediately. And start rolling. They showcase like the gold Miltank! And they have nothing to splash with. Oh my goodness. That may be them leaving. Lazy Otis. Okay, never mind. They drew into the Pokeball. And there's the Suicune, which they could have enabled as early as now. Okay. I think Rocky Helmet. Okay, so let's think about this. Can Giant K puts me at 130. They can cap out with Suicune at 80. Lazy Otis living up to their name. Yeah, I was just thinking if it was appropriate to go for the Rocky Helmet, if it was like, I actually have to think, right? Like, you know, factoring in, okay, so they can fill up the board, 80 damage with 130 and some healing, 80 damage with a Whitney. The Whitney just kind of like puts me out of range with 80. Because it brings my HP to 170. So the Whitney alone, without the Giant Cape, puts me out of range from a Suicune dealing 80 damage from 2 KOing my Miltank. So the correct option then was to go for the Rocky Helmet. We learned something today. Okay, so far our games have been pretty quick. But as we go into round 4, we're going second, but again, we got that Darkrai lead. Which, no matter what, we won't really be able to correct. Discard a random Pokemon tool. Okay, well, I am not going to let them meddle with me. So if I draw tools, I equip them immediately. They have Absol, so I'm actually not encouraged to do so, to like develop this Miltank here. Let's draw. We pick up another Pokeball and a potion. Let's go for the other Pokeball. And I'm just going to keep everything in hand. We have no tools. We have a lot of cards in hand, though, so that may encourage them to go for the metal. They go for a silver instead. That's a pretty... I wish I had that silver. I'm a little bit jealous, not gonna lie. That silver is pretty dope. Looking at all evil and shit. And they take away my Guzma. Okay. And they had their own Darkrai to fight with. And they built it up immediately. But we got potions to counter that. What if I leaf into... The problem is they can just send in the Absol after. They can send the Absol after and start attacking my bench. But if I go for a potion into a leaf into that, I 2 KO that anyways. No, but not in a way that I'm satisfied with. I think I just... For now, I do this. And I play a potion. In case they are going to attack my hand, right? Like, if they play silver, they could definitely play red card. So, I don't want to get too greedy with my potions and succumb to that. They go for a Team Rocket Grunt. And they get rewarded. Well, that is absolute nonsense. Yeah, that matters. That matters a lot. So if I can pivot into you and just use Miltank as fodder. So I can do this. Get rid of the Meowth. And as they bring the Darkrai in, I can leaf into Miltank while using my potion to heal the Darkrai. So I sequenced this way so I would lure their Darkrai in. And now I can Whitney to avoid the Darkrai killing me here. Theoretically, putting the energy onto Darkrai is better, but this also forces them to attack the Miltank. So I'm going to place the energy onto Miltank and my Rolling Frenzy. Basically, I'm trying to give them an impossible... I'm trying to lead them to an impossible scenario here. And then I would very much like to draw into Cyrus to seal the deal. Placing the energy on Miltank leads to 10 less damage. But it forces them to like actually attack me with a Darkrai. And then I'm just one Cyrus top deck away from winning. For now I can silver. See that they have no they have a red card there. They have no. Yeah, we took away that Team Rocket Grunt that could be game winning, and we take away from their chances from picking up the Umbreon. We know what they have in hand now. They have red card, 2 of those tools, which I'm not sure what they're trying to do with. I mean, they can use it with Clodsire. But hopefully this silver comes into play and spoils their draws. At least we took away that Team Rocket Grunt that could have been very dangerous. They play it as a full set, which is quite obnoxious, to be honest. And they top deck into Umbreon anyways, so now that just forces us to... They red card us, which is insane. That play triggers that just gave me Cyrus. I don't know what to say. I cannot believe what just happened. Wow. Wow. That misplay is kind of annoying because it makes it a bit of a bittersweet victory, right? But to be fair, they were in that position to begin with because they flipped heads with Team Rocket Grunt. So I guess this game got me believing in karma a little bit. Okay, so far it doesn't seem like we've had quite the normal game. But we got a Miltank lead here with a silver opening against what I'm assuming to be Suicune. No. This is Jumpluff. I really want to try that card out. That card seems really, really dope. Let's go for the silver. Take a look at our opponent's hand. Get rid of the Cyrus, as they got double Sylveon to set up here. So they're combining Jumpluff with Sylveon. Jumpluff with Sylveon. With water. Okay, so that they let's start rolling. Not develop Darkrai because we don't. If they draw into a Sabrina, like I want to make sure, even if they like red card me, I want to make sure that they'll do energy. Is this just like Greninja Sylveon with Jumpluff EX? I guess we'll never know. It may seem like I'm just like crazy lucky all these games, but I also think that our hand disruption is playing a strong role here. And speaking of rolls, I think Miltank is one of those Pokemon that if you lead off with it and your opponent doesn't have like any sort of answer or any sort of way to apply pressure themselves quickly, they just get steamed over. And that's a pretty neat aspect of this Pokemon. Like, just analyze the games and realize, like, like, they conceded quickly, but it was mainly because of just a Miltank sitting in front of them, and then they just, like... It's the gym leader experience all over again. Except War Whitney. All right, round. I don't even know what round is at this point. I know we've been at it for 30 minutes, and we got a Miltank, a sweet, sweet Miltank lead. I'm going to keep the Darkrai in hand. Yes, they can disrupt us. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. Nihilego with Umbreon, it seems. My biggest worry is actually not Poison Barb, thanks to Guzma. It's Red Card. Because I chose to keep this in hand. Let's see what they do. They have a Dark Pendant, which they put in the back. Oh my god, are they going to double tool? No, they're not. They're placing it on that, which is interesting. I'm just going to research here. And start rolling. Begin rolling. Here we go. The snowball begins. So now that Sylveon has a Dark Pendant equipped, why they did not just place that on that is beyond me. Okay, so they have Crobat EX as well. That is literally a useless tool. In fact, that's detrimental because it prevents them from placing another tool onto Sylveon that could be of more use. And they're looking to they're looking to retreat. Ladies and gentlemen, they're looking to retreat, and I'm looking to kill this Zubat effective immediately. Now we do drop our Darkrai. Surprise, motherfucker. What's the arrow down? What does that mean? I see like a blue arrow going down, switching with that. What does that mean? I'm not sure, but oh my god, that's a sexy kill. That is a beautiful, beautiful kill, denying the Crobat. Massive. Now we are vulnerable to Sabrina. We didn't draw into Silver, which would have been really nice. And they send Sylveon. Sylveon is not a Dark type though, because Sylveon is not a Dark type. Then this tool does nothing. Place the energy on the Zubat in the back, and I'm ready to go in. A Silver top deck would be ideal, but you know, I'll take the Pokeball to send my deck further. Get another Miltank in there, and just keep rolling. Just keep rolling. I have no reason to play any of these. I could get rid of the Nihilego, but why do that when I can set up a Cyrus to win? That feels more appropriate. The power! That's the thing. If you don't disrupt the Miltank, it's insane with Darkrai because you're ranking up that damage. They're dead unless they attack my hand here. They are officially dead. Even with this Crobat EX hitting us for 90 in total, it don't matter. It don't matter. This game is already over. Miltank with a little bit of help from Darkrai. Absolutely sealing this game. That is hilarious. And I just roll this. Darkrai can just sit and relax. His job is done. Get milked. That sounded better in my head. On a roll. Pun intended. Let's keep going. What a streak. We got the Miltank lead with double Whitney. And the Giant Cape. That's a really good opener. Depends on what we face though, but it can allow us to survive a lot of different hits. Like, Whitney single-handedly allows us to survive 2 attacks from Espeon. Which is really important. We just need to not get destroyed by like a red card. That's my biggest fear here. I'm gonna go for the Professor's Research. I'm gonna hope that they just don't do that. And I'm not gonna equip this Giant Cape just yet, because I could resort to a Rocky Helmet instead. Right now, they're just gonna try to find a friend. There's the silver. I'd rather see that than a red card here. They're probably gonna deal with one of the Whitneys. If they had red card, they would have played it before the silver. Yep. But I got another one. I got another one. Okay, here we go. Not developing anything onto the board to not be vulnerable. So we pull up that Darkrai there. And we start rolling. Onwards. They evolve Sylvia in the back because they want to evolve Eevee in the front. I am worried about a red card though. Shit. Okay. Barely living. We find that Darkrai, which is huge. Huge, even after that hit. Okay, we can do this. There's no way for us to survive here. Let's go for silver of our own and see what they got. Taking away that Sabrina is really important. Huge. Okay. So now that they have the kill with that, and they're able to put themselves outside, like that top deck was insane. Like that top deck was annoying, but it is what it is. We have pretty good game with. I was gonna go Giant Cape, but with Rocky Helmet and Double Potion, my HP is essentially 180. And this Rocky Helmet is actually everything. Because if they bring in Espeon, it's over. Yep. Oh! And even if I didn't draw a Rocky Helmet, I have Double Potion and Giant Cape. So I could just take a hit, heal myself, and then put them in a situation where, you know, their Espeon can. And they have to pivot into something else, but their second Espeon is not ready to attack yet, so I get another free hit. And then it's pretty much done. Darkrai still a beast, and backing it up with such a snowbally threat in Miltank makes this deck really legit. Like, it really does. We had some bizarre games today. Like, I've been recording for like 40 minutes, and, you know, I feel like I've had a lot of games end really quickly. But we also went on a huge streak. And the deck just did what it needed to do. And I'm really, really happy with the double silver. I think the double silver is really, really neat. And this is what I believe to be Miltank's best shell. Like, going all in with Miltank is not a good idea because it caps out at 130 HP with a giant cape. Like, it cannot go higher than that. So if you run into Pokemon like Giratina EX or anything like that, you just get one-shotted no matter what you do. I mean, if you play stuff like Blue, then maybe you can, you know, but it's just not reliable, especially because if the deck just goes all in on that, then you get even more hurt by cards like Red Card, which are very rampant in the meta. So I like this approach a lot, and I think Silver definitely helps. To get rid of Sabrina, like we did right there, that was absolutely clutch. Otherwise, they could have, when they killed my first Miltank, they could have Sabrina'd into my Darkrai, and that would have won them the game. So Silver was game-winning there. And they can deny Sabrina to just disrupt Miltank as a whole, and give us information as to whether they have a way to attack our hand as well, so we can decide to develop onto the bench too. Yeah, I like the deck. Okay, I really do. And I think Miltank is a really, really cool addition to the game. I like the way it works. It's a bit kind of like all or nothing at times, but it makes people quit. It legitimately does. And it's really fun. Love you. Have a whole day. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.